Sheikh Abubakar Gumi was the first Grand Khadi of northern Nigeria. But then, who built the power behind that name, Gumi? Let me take you back to how this all began. Before independence, when the British ruled Nigeria, they governed indirectly through our emirs and alkali courts, the Muslim judges. At that time, there was no independent Sharia law system, it operated under the control of the emirs. After independence, a new constitution was introduced, and a Supreme Court for Muslim affairs was created to cover the entire northern region. This became known as the Sharia Court of Appeal. The question arose, who would head it? This court needed a leader under whom all the judges would serve. That position was called the Grand Khadi. Sheikh Abubakar Gumi became the first person ever to hold this powerful position for the whole of northern Nigeria. This role gave him enormous influence and direct access to president and those in seats of power. Before this, many saw him simply as a preacher, but the political class recognized him as a strategic asset. Here is the real turning point. Sheikh Abubakar Gumi became the spiritual backbone of a movement that reshaped Islam in northern Nigeria, the Izala movement. Izala stood for the fight against religious innovations, bid'ah, and the restoration of the correct teachings of the Prophet, pure worship of God according to the Sunnah. Their struggle was directed against anyone whose practices they believed deviated from true Islam. Let this sink in, it was not just about religion. It was about an ideology that structured access to state assets through Islamic principles. They positioned themselves as the true believers who deserved control over Nigeria's resources. This ideology granted them access to government and military resources, land, and power. No resource in Nigeria was seen as belonging exclusively to northerners until this belief system gave them that justification and influence. His son, Ahmad Abubakar Gumi, grew up in the corridors of power. He witnessed how rulers think, how governments negotiate, and how religion intertwines with politics. When you see him today speaking with bandits or negotiating with armed groups, understand this, he inherited a system where religion is not merely faith, it is influence, access, negotiation, and leverage. Nigeria is now feeling the full weight of that legacy. Ahmad Gumi's role in Nigerian politics is very controversial. Like his father, Sheikh Abubakar Gumi, he is a Sunni Muslim of the Maliki school, influenced by strict Islamic teachings. Over the years, he has become known for talking to bandits during the insecurity crisis in the northwest. Since around 2021, Ahmad Gumi has traveled to forest and remote areas in Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, and Niger States. His aim, according to him, is to convince bandits to repent, drop their weapons, and return to normal life. He has played a role in negotiations that led to the release of kidnapped people, including students of Greenfield University and Kagara School. Gumi believes the government should forgive bandits, just as past governments forgave soldiers who attempted coups. He argues that dialogue and negotiation can bring peace, not only military action. However, many Nigerians strongly disagree with him. Some critics say he supports or sympathizes with criminals. In fact, in 2021, he was questioned by the DSS over his activities. To his supporters, however, he is simply being realistic and practical, continuing his father's style of mixing religion with influence to solve problems. Today, Nigeria is facing banditry, Boko Haram violence, and religious tension. Because of this, the ideas and legacy of the Gumi family are still very relevant. Some people believe their religious reforms helped education, discipline, and unity. Others believe those same ideas helped extremism grow. Izala schools and preaching programs have educated millions of people, but they have also caused serious conflicts with Sufi Muslims, and many Nigerians see Izala as too strict or radical. In a country like Nigeria, where Muslims and Christians must live together carefully, these issues raise an important question. Does strict religious reform help unite the country, or does it divide us even more?